This is Mr. Kumalo CS. Today's video we're going to look at the application of electrolysis, which is electroplating, purification of copper. So lesson number 1 is going to be on electroplating. Electroplating, the coating of a material with another material which does not corrode. Corrosion is the rusting of a metal when it reacts with oxygen or water. Oxidation is example of corrosion. Reduction is example of coating or plating material. Take note of the following during electroplating. The element that you like, it must be connected to the positive terminal. Element like gold, silver, copper, chromium. Item that you need to coat, connect it to the negative terminal of the battery. Items can be spoons, keys, necklace chains, watches, car mag rings. For example, electroplating of silver spoon with copper. This is an example of electroplating of silver spoon with copper. Right. Let's look at this cell. Let's say I want to change that silver spoon into copper. Why? Because maybe copper look nice. Maybe copper does not rust with water. Maybe you have got a function that says they need to have spoons which are copper spoons. So you need, let's say you're the company, so you need to design spoons which are copper. So what you do, it's not that easy to have these, to start afresh and design spoons which are copper like that. But you can coat any spoon to be copper. So how can you do that? So if you can remember, the element that you need to coat, you will connect it to the negative terminal. This element, you put it on the negative terminal. Why on the negative terminal? Because this element must gain the other surface. Because on the negative, that's where the element is going to gain. The element that you want to coat with, in this case, which is copper, you must put it on the positive terminal. Why on the positive terminal? Because it must lose the surface, it must lose those electrons to the battery. Okay? So what you need to understand now is that when you've put your elements like this, number 1, so what's going to happen, since this one is connected to the positive side of the battery, it makes this side to be what? To be positive. It makes this side to be positive and this side to be negative. And you already know this side is going to be your anode and this side is going to be your cathode. Right. Because this is the positive side, electrons from this copper bar will be pulled by the battery. So these electrons from the copper bar, they'll be pulled by the battery and they'll go up like that, attracted to the positive side of the battery. When they get through the battery, they'll be pushed or repelled by the battery and they'll go to the other side of the spoon. So look what's happening here. The ion that was holding this electron, it will be deposited to the system or to the container. And that ion is going to be Cu2+. So you are going to have a lot of Cu2+ being deposited to the container. And remember, when these electrons get to the side of the spoon, what's going to happen? These ions which are positive, they are going to be attracted to that electron there. When they are attracted to this electron, what do? They will go and combine. They'll go and combine with that ion. And when they go and receive this ion, after receiving the ion, they'll change color like that because they are now solid. You see? And that is coating. Another ion will come and receive this one, and then it will change color and like that. So all these electrons, when they get to that side, they'll be received by those ions, and the spoon will keep on changing color like that. And that is the process of coating. Because can you see? Because the spoon is changing what? It's changing color. Every time when the electron get to the side, the ion goes and receive, and the spoon will be changing color, change color. It will change color up until like that, and up until the reaction is done. And after that, you can see the whole spoon will be copper. Okay. So the other thing that you need to understand before I write the half reactions is that the solution that you need to put inside there, it have to be the solution of what? It have to be the solution of copper sulfate, SO4. So meaning that there, inside the container, you are going to have a lot of Cu2 plus and SO4 2 minus. Cu2 plus and SO4 2 minus. So it is this Cu2 plus that are going to receive those electrons that are getting to the side of the battery. And then from there they paste or they plate themselves on top of the surface of what? Of a spoon. Guys, you have seen sometimes that if you have some of the items, if you've got an item, let's say a chain, a necklace chain, if you can scratch this thing, it changes color. So when you're scratching, it's like you're removing the plated surface. Can you see that? So this is the process of electroplating. You need to understand that what you need to plate, you put it on the negative so that it can gain the other surface. What you need to plate with, you put it on the positive. I think that's the most important thing. Okay, now let me show you the half reactions. Okay, the half reactions for electroplating. Okay, so our half reactions, we always have got our oxidation part. And if you look at this part now, the oxidation, what is being oxidized? It is copper. So copper is being oxidized. So if you look at table 4b, you write copper in an oxidation, we know we start with the solid part. So it's going to be Cu solid changing to become what? Cu2 plus. In aqueous form, losing what? 2 electrons. And then if you look at on the negative side, it is copper ions which are gaining electrons again. So on the reduction side, we have got now copper ions gaining electrons again. Same element, Cu2 plus. In aqueous form, plus what? Plus 2 electrons. Changing to become what? Cu solid. This Cu solid, it is a surface that we coated with. It's the coating surface. Okay, so that's all about electroplating. So electroplating, usually they don't ask you to calculate the E potential. You'll calculate the E potential in your electrolysis and also in the galvanic cell. But in electroplating, it's all about understanding that you need to plate another element with another element. Why do you plate an element with another element? Remember, guys, some elements, they are weak. They react with oxygen. They react with water. So some things, if you put them in water, you find that this outer surface of that element is going to be destroyed. It's going to move away. You understand? But there are some elements that even if you put them in water, they don't change, like silver, like gold, like copper, like chromium. Okay. So what you need to understand here, it's very, very simple. I think this was a very simple approach, especially when it comes to electroplating. So electroplating is nothing special or difficult. It's just about plating a metal with another metal. You can see the summary there.